beauty, isle of splendor, isle too also sweet and fair. All must surely gaze in wonder at thy gifts so rich and rare. Rivers, valleys, hills, and mountains, all these gifts we do extol. Healthy land so like all fountains, giving cheer that warms the soul. Dominica, God has blessed thee with a clime benign and bright, pastures green and flowers of beauty, filling all with pure delight, and a people strong and healthy, full of godly reverent fear. May we ever seek to praise thee for these gifts so rich and rare. Come ye forward, sons and daughters of this gem beyond compare. Strive for honor, sons and daughters, do the right, be firm, be fair. Toil with hearts and hands and voices, we must prosper, sound the call, in which everyone rejoices, all for each and each for all.
And I'd like to again formally welcome Honorable Lady Catherine Daniel, Minister for Social Services, Family and Gender Affairs, representing the Honorable Prime Minister. Permanent secretaries and heads of departments, senior public officers, Ms. Colleen Rosita from the Canada School of Public Service and the CLP Project Director, Dr. Lois Parks, Regional Project Manager, CLP, members of the CLP delivery team, Ms. Marjorie Wharton, and our very own son of the soil, Mr. Verrier Morillon. Participants from Cohort 10, CLP alumni, Goodwill Ambassador, Mrs. Michael Henderson, individual performing artists, cultural group performers, other public officers and invited guests, members of the media invited here to provide coverage of this event. Good evening. It gives me great pleasure to formally welcome you to Dominica for Cohort 10 of the CLP. I think your selection of Dominica for this program phase is well-timed, as the island presents itself as a good case study for applied knowledge and skills for leading in adversity, leading with diversity, and with tenacity. This sort of transformational leadership is what we believe has and will continue to place Dominica and the rest of the region on a sustainable growth path. Dominica can boast also to having tangibly and practically benefited from the CLP. Unless we harness the human capacity of the future generation of leaders, the current generation would have failed in its mandate. It is believed by some that a selected group are born leaders. Others assert that leadership is cultivated. Whatever your persuasion or conviction on this, while welcoming you here, I take the opportunity to admonish you to make the very best of the entire training program. As I close, I would like to share with you a few nuggets I have learned as a leader. 1, the demands of leadership will move you from your comfort of familiar territory into the unknown. Therefore, have faith in yourself and faith in God. Number 2, you will sometimes be called upon to take unpopular and sometimes uncommon decisions. Be bold and tenacious. Leadership will put you in a position which is often lonesome as you're called upon to walk paths that are deserted and unbeaten. Be confident and be strong. Leadership will put you in the spotlight for both criticism and accolades. Be resilient and self-effacing. You're not a leader if no one is following you. Value and give credit to your subordinates. With these few words, on behalf of everyone here tonight from Dominica, on behalf of the government and the wider public service, I welcome you to the lovely Nature Isle, Dominica, and invite you to enjoy this evening and your remaining days in Dominica. Welcome, one and all. Okay, at this time, we want to take an overview of the CLP, and I would like to invite Ms. Colleen Rosita.
Welcome to the Caribbean Leadership Project. It is a pleasure to be here with you today, and I say that because I have the pleasure to be part of an extraordinary experience in an extraordinary region with extraordinary partners, all committed to excellence in the public service. As a public service myself, I know that we make a difference. I know that the challenges we face are increasingly complex, and we need to equip our leaders with the capacity to adapt to these increasing challenges. The Caribbean Leadership Project is a result of the vision and tenacity of Sir K. Dwight Venner, the former governor of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank. His vision and those of the then known as the Canadian International Development Agency, now known as Global Affairs Canada, and my own organization, the Canada School of Public Service, drove the core commitment of the CLP, and that is of co-creation with leaders from the region. We began this project by meeting with over 200 permanent secretaries and heads of departments in all 12 participating countries and regional organizations. Through this dialogue, it was clear that the success of the CLP would hinge on several factors. 1, that the issues and the content need to be reflective of the region and its challenges and priorities. That an understanding that learning may begin in the classroom, but it is through the application of learning that real growth takes place. And that short-term interventions have limited success, and therefore a long-term commitment to development and learning for the participants and the professional development of the learning community would be key. So in the CLP, we explore relationships with self, relationships with others, influencing and being influenced, seeing and considering things through multiple lenses, adapting our leadership styles to the situational requirements, for there's no one-size-fits-all style of leadership. CLP is also about encouraging leadership at all levels, for it is unrealistic to believe that the permanent secretary or head of the department can accomplish everything that needs to be done. So far, 166 leaders from 12 countries and 5 regional organizations have completed the Leadership Development Program. We currently have 3 cohorts ongoing at the same time, so fairly soon we'll have completed 250 people from around the region through this program. Through their participation, they have molded the program to be reflective of the character and the characteristics of the region, its leadership, and the citizens you serve. The bright spots they have visited across the region further refined the program and demonstrated that passion yields leaders, be they high school students, zookeepers, judges, or immigration officers. The results so far have been a community of adaptive leaders and a network of committed partners. We've designed the project so the multi-module leadership development program is buttressed by 4 pillars. So the first pillar is the continuous learning and development network. You might think of this as an alumni network, so that these participants can continue to explore new ideas and practices with each other. Our goal is that the alumni continue to collaborate and support their peers in other countries and cohorts, so that of the many cohorts, you have one community. The second pillar is research that incorporates the uniqueness of the Caribbean. Our Action Research Roundtable focusing on governance at the core, and our second one focusing on the enabling environment for leadership development, brings together very serious and experienced participants from across the region, applying the research that currently exists to bring together the practitioners and the theory so that you can better demonstrate a path that you can go forward with this leadership development. Because, as we said, leadership takes place in the context, not in the classroom. The third pillar is supporting the enhanced capacity of learning specialists and leadership specialists so that they can continue to design and deliver world-class leadership development programs in the region. The fourth program, as I mentioned briefly, is where we explore the enabling environment for leadership development. So the result of all of the above will be a legacy organization known as the Caribbean Center for Leadership Excellence that will be both financially and programmatically sustainable beyond the end of the funding of global affairs. The Canada School of Public Service is very pleased to have been so warmly received by our partners and participating countries and regional institutions. As an itinerant program, we rely on the knowledge and the networks of our host governments to identify the amazing and profound guests who so freely shared their wisdom and experience with our participants. We also rely on a cadre of dedicated professionals from the Caribbean and beyond to design, adapt, and deliver this world-class program. Partners like the Sagicor Cave Hill School of Business and Management in Barbados, the Management Institute of National Development in Jamaica, are bringing the force of their organizations to support the CLP and create a future that emphasizes experiential learning and leadership development in a regional organization such as the future Caribbean Center for Leadership Excellence. I'd like to thank Global Affairs Canada for their vision and commitment to the development of the Caribbean and support for the public services across the region through the CLP. The department and its representatives have been especially open to the co-design process that is at the heart of the CLP. I'd also like to introduce the facilitation team for this amazing program. You will meet Dr. Loy Parks later in the program, but with us we have Marjorie Wharton from the Sagicor Cave Hill School of Business and Management, and Val, as we know him lovingly, Val Morillon, who is from Dominica, who are an amazing team who have never worked together before, but they pulled together and they are providing an amazing program for us this week. Thank you very much.
I am you as the heat of her deepest sea. I am glad as the blood spills set me and green is the grass in the valley below. Like the warmth of the sun, I'm yellow, and I sing home to this June that I praise and song, this gym to which I belong. This land is my home. Oh, I sing home from the mountains I gave running, the hills from whence freedom came. This land is my home. Oh, I sing home from east with the rising sun to west with the day's dawn. This land is my home. I sing home from the mountains that gave her name, the hills from whence freedom came. This land is my home, my home, my home, my home, my home, my home. The child of Thank you very much. And now to celebrate all of you in this wonderful region that we belong to, this is Celebrating CARICOM. From many distant lands, our forefathers came, some seeking adventure, some bound in chains. Through battles waged and fought, through victory and pain, by test of their courage, our freedom was gained. In homage to those gone before us, the heroes of lands in the sun, we vow to join hands and to focus on building one Caribbean. Raise your voices high and sing of your Caribbean pride. Sing it loud and strong, feel our hearts beat as one. Celebrating song as we rise to heights where we belong. Sound the victory drum, oh CARICOM. So great and diversity, our ethnicity, all the bonds that unite us are stronger than these. We dine, we pray, we love, we dance and we play, we relate to each other the West Indian way. Today as a people united, determined and steadfast we stand. We look to a brand new horizon, the future now firmly in our hands. Raise your voices high and sing of your Caribbean pride. Sing it loud and strong, feel our hearts beat as one. Celebrating song as we rise to heights where we belong. Sound the victory drum,
we have one of the members of the alumni, CLP alumni, and that is our colleague, my colleague, P.S. Helen Royer, and she's going to come to give you a little bit of a remark, a speech. Welcome her.
Honorable Catherine Daniel, Minister for Social Services, Family and Gender Affairs, representing the Honorable Prime Minister, and my minister, she's my minister, for those of you who do not know, Mrs. Gloria Joseph, the Chief Personnel Officer. Permanent Secretary is represented here this evening, Miss Colleen Rosita from the Canada School of Public Service, and she is also the CLP Project Director. Dr. Loy Parks, Regional Project Manager of CLP, members of the CLP delivery team, Marjorie Wharton, and our very own son of the soil, Mr. Verrier Morillon. He hails from my village and my constituency also. And participants of Cohort 10, CLP Alumni, Goodwill Ambassador Michelle Henderson, if she's still there, individual performers and artists, cultural group performers, other public servants, and invited guests, members of the media, good evening. I am indeed delighted for the opportunity to deliver brief remarks at this evening's cocktail held in honor of the CLP participants, Module 10. The CLP alumni is pleased with the presence of the Honorable Minister Catherine Daniel, representing the Honorable Prime Minister tonight. We are so happy, Honorable Minister, that you could take time out of your busy schedule to be with us tonight. To our special guest, the coordinator of CLP, Ms. Colleen Rosita, the Regional Director of Dr. Loy Park, and participants of Cohort 10 and other past participants. We are delighted that you are here with us to celebrate. I am particularly pleased to reconnect with the coordinator, Mrs. Rosita, and especially Dr. Parks, who was my colleague and one with whom I journeyed throughout CLP Cohort 1. We were the guinea pigs. We were a great bunch, and it was really great to see her now at the helm of the CLP project today. Dr. Parks' transformation has really taken place, and it took place very quickly. We are indeed privileged to have the presence of the participants from the various countries and the facilitators. And as I said before, one of our very own. We do hope that you will find time to enjoy the lovely country, our lovely country, Dominica, the land of fauna and flora. Dominica, as part of the Caribbean, has achieved much from the CLP project from its inception, and we are pleased that the government has given full support to the program. We know it's quite a long time to be away from our desk. Those of us who have done the course, you know it's quite a bit of weeks, and especially those at senior levels, to be granted the time to do that training. But we are happy that the Cabinet Secretary and our government has permitted it because of the value placed on building capacity of senior leaders, and we are grateful that the support for that kind of support from the helm of the public service. The Caribbean Leadership Project, as we know, is intended to be implemented over a period of 7 years with the objective to strengthen the competence of future Caribbean leaders so that they can acquire the requisite skill set which will facilitate transformation of the public service. This project is packaged in a way to provide senior leaders with tools which can help them to contribute more effectively to their local areas and also to the regional integration and economic growth. To date, we have had 4 persons trained and 6 are presently pursuing training. It is indeed an honor to host the 10th cohort here. I know those of us who have been recipients of this training can speak to the immense impact on our lives as leaders. We all can say that this learning continues to help us address the many challenges which we can be faced with from time to time as leaders. The inclusion of 2 of our senior staff in this intake, therefore, is a welcome initiative and will lend support to the continued thrust to transformation from the top. As one of the beneficiaries, I can attest to the degree to which this is possible, as I have seen the transformation in my own life. CLPers have been able to use many of the tools from the toolkit, Mrs. Rosita. I don't know those of us who remember some of the tools from the kit, including 110%. That was the first time I was hearing that people could listen to people for 110%, because most of the times we don't even listen for 10%, but it was really amazing. Things like learning to stay above the line. As a leader, when you get up to your neck because of something not going right, that you learn not to bring yourself lower than you're supposed to be. You're always supposed to remain above the line. And what about facing the tiger, among many others? The tiger, the different challenges that would face, the difficult people that you have to work with, and yet you must get that tool, that strategy to deal with them. I thank CLP for this toolkit that has been helping me, and not only me, but our other alumni. We know that we all have benefited, and I know all of us have experienced various changes for which we are thankful. The benefits are numerous. However, I am aware tonight is not for long speeches, as you will have lots of that this week, but I just wanted to echo the value of such a program on behalf of the other CLPers. This cocktail is honor of you, the CLP team, and it is most fitting, and most especially as we have our past participants who are here with us tonight, and we are embraced with so many other senior persons. We are indeed grateful for all the organizers for choosing Dominica for this module. Actually, when I was the first cohort, we wished that it would have been in Dominica, and it took 9 other cohorts before they selected Dominica. So we are very, very happy that we are here today. We also wish to place on record our sincere appreciation to Ms. Kerr for her leadership in this effort, and also to thank the Chief Personnel Officer for her invalid contribution to facilitating the process. I wish in closing to wish you, the participants of Module 10, a fruitful journey, and encourage you to remain resolute in your search for a confident and courageous mindset. Let's inspire to aspire. Do enjoy the entertaining and intermingling. I think I'll be meeting with you again at 1 o'clock tomorrow, so I look forward to that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, P.S. Roy, for those very inspiring words. We want to take a cultural performance. We have our own indigenous team here, the Karina Cultural Group, and It gives me great pleasure to call the distinguished, the Honorable Lady Catherine Danielle, Minister for Social Services, Family and Gender Affairs, and she's representing the Honorable Prime Minister, who has given his apologies for his inability to be here tonight, but he wishes you all the best. Honorable Danielle.
First of all, a pleasant good evening to everyone here. And although the CPO has apologized for the PM, but I think it's incumbent upon me to apologize on his behalf since I'm here representing him. He would like to be here with you all because he's the minister responsible for public servants, but due to prior engagement, he was unable to break out of it to be here. So he sends his best regard and his humblest apologies. Let me recognize among our midst the Chief Personnel Officer and Permanent Secretary in this ministry, Mrs. Gloria Joseph, the other permanent secretaries and heads of departments, senior public officers, Ms. Colleen Rosita from the Canada School of Public Service and CLP Project Director, Dr. Lloyd Pax, Regional Project Manager, CLP, members of the CLP delivery team, Ms. Marjorie Wharton, excuse my pronunciation of names if I'm wrong, and our very own son of the soil, I'll have to say Val Morilla. Wow, that was a big surprise for me. Participants from Cohort 10, CLP Alumni, Goodwill Ambassador Mitchell Henderson, though she has left us, the individual performers and artists, especially the people from the Kalinago territory, cultural group performers, if there are others, other public officers, invited guests, members of the media invited here to provide coverage of this event. I'm honored to be here representing the Prime Minister this evening. I count it a privilege to address you all here today on the occasion of the face-to-face workshop of the Caribbean Leadership Project, Leadership Development Program for the 10th cohort of leadership trainees under the theme, The Confident and Courageous Mindset. Warm welcome is extended to all of you representing CARICOM. Special welcome is extended also to Ms. Colleen Rosita of the Canada School of Public Service and CLP Project Director, and Dr. Lloyd Pax, Regional Project Manager, CLP. We take this opportunity to thank the Canadian government through the Canadian International Development Agency, CIDA, for its funding support. We also honor the memory of deceased Sir Dwight Venner for his sterling work in the conceptualization of this leadership development program for the region. We also very gratefully acknowledge the contributions of our regional governments and other partners and stakeholders in the continued implementation of this very important initiative, that of building strong, resilient, and responsive public sector institutions. As we continue to develop and equip our public sector leaders, we need to keep in focus the objectives of CARICOM, some of which are to improve the standards of living and work, full employment of labor and other factors of production, and enhanced levels of international competitiveness. There is need for renewed focus on these areas of development and the need for best fit in terms of leadership capabilities, which would engender the achievement of higher level of results. These issues will lead not only to changes in the leadership of the public service, but also to changes in the governance systems of states. Accordingly, greater emphasis has to be placed on the enhancement of leadership skills and the creation of the enabling environment for the utilization of these skills in the public services of the region. Over the period of implementation of this project, we envisage that the knowledge, new insights, and good practice shared will positively impact the public services of the region. I'm speaking here for the Prime Minister in my capacity as Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of Dominica, as former chairman of CARICOM. I am in constant communication with my regional partners and leaders. I am made aware of the common issues experienced within the public sector, those related to service delivery, accountability, and governance. I am also aware of various interventions made by regional institutions, such as CARICAD, to improve service delivery. Recently, member states of CARICAD developed and ratified a charter for Caribbean public services, which identifies components of a professional and effective public service and establishes a general framework of guiding principles, policies, and management mechanisms reflecting a common commitment of the public services of the Caribbean region. This charter is also intended to serve as a catalyst for the reform, modernization, and transformation of national public sector entities within the context of each country's realities and priorities. It seeks to establish a common ethical basis for the delivery of public services in subscribing states. It also ensures effectiveness, efficiency, responsiveness, and adaptability, and a renewed focus on service and service delivery. Additionally, the Charter provides the basis for the delivery of quality and innovative service that meet the needs of our societies. It fosters collaboration of subscribing states in modernizing administration and strengthening institutional capacity for improved public services, and encourages the harmonization of policies and procedures related to public service and administration among member states with the aim of promoting regional integration. The Charter for Public Services was recently endorsed at a ministerial symposium that took place in Antigua in March 2017 and represents good practice in the area of public sector modernization for the region. This endorsement was preceded by a round of stakeholder engagements, which was embraced by Dominica in April of this year. While we celebrate our achievements, we recognize that there is need for improvements. There is still much that we can achieve in structuring and developing our countries and our people in a rapidly advancing world. Therefore, we truly appreciate the opportunity that this leadership development program affords our region to strengthen the capacity of our public sectors to play that critical role in policy and program formulation and implementation to enable governments to propel our countries to newer and higher levels of development. In pursuing these roles, the public sector must be cost-effective and set the standards for service delivery, transparency, public accountability, and integrity. The public sector must strive for a level of excellence that sets it above the standards and performance of the private sector. I want to commend the Dominica Public Service, and in particular, the Establishment, Personnel and Training Department for spearheading efforts to service delivery through the development of the Customer Service Advantage Program and the new complaints handling mechanism, very much needed and very much improvement in the service as a result. As our societies advance, our citizens, with justification, are becoming more demanding of higher standards in the delivery of goods and services, and we are obligated to be responsive to those demands. This process of training, retooling, and capacity development is welcome, since governments will not be able to satisfy these economic and social requirements. We will not be able to meet the personal and career development needs of our employees unless we proceed with vigor and without delay to transform and modernize the public service. The Leadership Development Program serves as a catalyst for change. The real transformation starts with each of us. Each of us acknowledging the need for change, applying knowledge and skills, and evaluating the impact of our work within and outside of the public service. I am confident then that the CLP comes at an opportune time for our region. I am equally confident in our ability to optimize this learning experience now and in the future as we look forward to the institutionalization of leadership training in the establishment of the Caribbean Center for Leadership Excellence. According to a colleague of mine, this was a five-syllable word. So if we are able to achieve this, and I am sure we will, this institution of learning will be a significant achievement for our public services, as we will have within our reach a premier facility through which key public sector employees become engaged in a purposeful and consistent strategy to develop intellectual capacity, steeped in a culture of engendering public value, professionalism, and excellence. I now extend best wishes to management of the CLP, the facilitators, and participants for a productive yet enjoyable week. Feel free to explore the wonders of our nature isle and enjoy the warmth and hospitality of the Dominican people. I just want to wish you all again all the best for a productive seminar, productive workshop. May God bless you, may God guide your efforts, your deliberations, as you work to make our service to the publics that we serve in the various countries a better one, a friendlier one, so that people can partake of the services that we have in a welcoming manner, and that everyone will feel equal in so doing, that no one is above the other. And so I just want to wish you all the best. Thank you.
Tam chebedule umafi, kabale mwakeba mwendwa shewi.
Tam chebedule umafi, kabale mwakeba mwendwa shewi.
Kamwe mwe ule kalaba mwe, aita mwe ule Thank you.